Hello, everybody. This is Old School Wisdom, and today we want to talk to you about Biden and Trump's record and plans for the coronavirus. Um, we believe that the Democrats are politicizing this issue, which is very unfortunate. Um, but they're politicizing this issue, and what they're doing is they're playing on your grief and your emotions, and which is what they always do because they try to frighten you to
Yeah,
get you
that's
to
right.
vote for them.
Yeah, the
Okay?
Democrats like to come up with all these teary-eyed stories to help you convince you that you should vote for them. And they use these little teary-eyed stories thinking they're going to get a sympathetic vote from the people. But you don't vote from sympathy. You vote from what policies they're going to present. See, and they don't care about the policies. They just want you to vote out of some fear. Like they like to throw it at old people about, we're going to mess with Medicare. The other team is going to mess up Medicare. The other team's going to mess up Medicaid. And then they want to get the old folks all upset and vote for them. So they
Okay.
just fear mongering, which they think that, people not wise to that. But they've been
Right.
doing that for too long
They
now.
do it for a while. Thing about Trump and the Republicans is that they run on their records and they run on their policies, but the Democrats don't have appealing or attractive policies, so that's why they use that strategy. Okay. Thing about Trump is he's not a politician. He's a businessman who decided to run because he cares for this country, and he gets no salary for
Yeah,
it.
he's not getting
He,
paid for all this
he's
frustration
not
they
getting
taking him
paid.
through. Every day bombarding Trump. When they wake up in the morning, first thing they got to think of is some Trump bombs to throw at him. Every day, all day long. And
That's
he's
right.
not getting paid.
He's not getting paid. He does it because he loves the country and he loves you. The thing about Biden is he's being backed by billionaires and millionaires like
And you know
Bloomberg.
they owe him something. I mean, he owes them something for his money. They're not giving him $1 million just because he's a nice guy like he'd like to make you think. He owes them some favors for those millions of dollars he's getting. Okay?
Okay.
Keep that in mind.
Okay, yeah, like Bloomberg and George Soros, and that's because they like globalization, and they put a global market over the American market, which will take jobs, taxpayer money. They don't care anything as long as it's just open borders and an open global market. Okay, and it doesn't put America
Yeah,
first like
we are
Trump
the world,
does.
we are the world, that kind of thing. And we're not the world. We have to take care of ourselves first, then look at the world.
That's right. And they're looking to China to be their market. They don't care about the Americans, the American people and the American market. That's what they're concerned about, globalization. So with this coronavirus, we'll start here. What the media wants to do is it wants to blame Trump for the deaths of all the people, which is very sad, and we're prayerful about all of that. But the only person or the only place we can blame for all the deaths is China. They're the only ones that we can blame. And the Democrats and Biden, they want to pretend that they can do a better job with this virus. But you have to understand that this virus is new, is novel, it's extremely contagious. We've never encountered anything like this. And so
Yeah,
the
and
only one, wait, let me say this, and then you go. The only one who can get us out of this is Christ, Jesus. Okay?
okay, yeah. Biden is just Monday morning quarterbacking the whole thing. From a fairy tale Walt Disney perspective, I would be doing this, I would have done this, or I would be doing that. And if you look at it, every time he lists something that he would be doing or he would have done, Trump already did it already. So he's making you think he has some great ideas, but all he's doing is peeking on Trump test paper. That's
Yeah.
all he's doing. That's it.
That's right. So we're going to compare Trump to Biden on this virus. So first of all, Trump issued a travel ban from and to China on January 31st, 2020, and that was after the first case of the virus here in the States and on January the 21st. And Trump closed down a booming economy, an economy that was the the economy that was best on record ever. He closed it down. Okay. But what Joe Biden did, all he did was call him xenophobic for doing that. meaning that you hate foreigners, which is
Yeah,
not
he was
the case.
quarterbacking way back then, and he didn't encourage the shutdown to stop the Chinese people from coming over here, or those people visiting China at that time coming over here, bringing the virus to us. See, actually, China had a little World War III game going, because this probably just bacterial warfare. They just not calling it that. But that's what it really is, because if you look at the number of deaths from World War II, and this virus is just like a world war, okay?
Okay, that's right. Exactly. And what Trump did was he allowed the governors to run their states, okay, because each state is different. And so it doesn't make sense to impose something that you would do in Oklahoma with fewer people in a place like what you would do in somewhere like Texas. So he allowed governors to run their states because each state is different, and he supplied them with what they needed. And all of those governors are on record and video thanking him for what he did for them.
Yeah, but every time something come up, the press want to run to Trump to solve it. You know, somebody got a long stoplight on the main street of their town. They want to run to Trump, hollering about stoplights too long. Go to your governors, go to your mayors. Those are the people that have direct control over the place where you live. Trump can't solve every little hiccup in the country.
That's right. All right, so according to Biden's plans, here's what he said he would do. He says he wants to fix testing and tracing. Well, here's what happened. With Biden and Obama, they depleted the nation's emergency supplies, equipment, and ventilators with the H1N1 swine flu, and they never replenished it. So what Trump had to do first was to build that back up. And right now, they have done 120 million tests and distributed over 100 million tests to schools. So that's why you have cases that are up, but the deaths are less severe because we now have new therapeutics. But what Biden says he wants to do there, Trump's already doing it. All right. The second thing Biden says he wants to do is to fix the personal protection equipment problem by using the Defense Production Act. Trump is already doing that. Trump used the Army Corps of Engineers, and he built hospitals. He used the Production Act to build ventilators and make supplies. He is already doing that.
Yeah, the Production Act is just where they make companies that are already building things like GM, making cars and so forth, get them to retool their assembly lines and make equipment that's necessary to fight the virus, like ventilators. That's what it is.
He's already doing that. Biden wants to provide evidence-based national guidelines. Okay, Trump is already doing that. We have the guidelines. We have the social distancing, which is what he's talking about here. We have the use of masks. So Trump is already also enforcing also using evidence-based national guidelines.
Yeah, and these media people got news reporters making $250,000 a year and run around behind Trump talking about why he's not wearing a mask. Can't they find some more news besides that? That's not even news. Who cares if Trump wear a mask? If you want to wear a mask, wear it. But why Trump not wearing a mask, that's not news. That's just stupid.
Okay. The next thing that Biden wants to do is he says on his site, equitable distribution of treatments and vaccines. Well, that's what Trump is already doing. And it's noted that in February, they got the genetic code on the virus and they began work on vaccines within 6 weeks. And they're now they have begun work on the vaccines. And within 6 weeks, they were in phase 1 clinical trials. Okay, and now they're working on warp speed to get the vaccine by the end of the year and have tens of millions of doses ready for distribution.
Yeah, the news media make you think that Trump is the problem with the vaccine. They make you think that Trump run back to the White House every evening, go down in the basement, pouring up test tubes, lighting up butane torches, and he's making the vaccine in the basement of the White House by himself. That's what the news media make you think. Joe Biden, Trump, or anybody else can't make these people go any faster than they're going. These are the scientists making the vaccines. Now, Trump don't have anything to do with how they put those vaccines together. Nothing.
Yeah. And Biden says he likes to listen to the science, but so does Trump. Trump, he assembled a huge mass of scientists and doctors as a task force, and we had daily briefings on the coronavirus of what they were doing and how they were bringing the country along. Okay. Another thing Biden has on his site is he wants to restore the relationship with WHO, the World Health Organization. Well, Trump, he wants to freeze funding to the WHO because they're just a corrupt organization. They don't have America's best interest at heart. So he wants to freeze the funding because they're corrupt and they pander to China. Whatever China wants is what they do. It is not about every country, what's good for every country. What's good for China is what the policies.
Yeah. Basically, so when China decided to use this biological weapon that they threw out there, they muzzled the WHO and told them, look, don't talk about this right now. We about the business of this warfare, trying to get us to number one in the world in all areas. So they ran around the world buying up all the masks and everything else so that when they threw the virus out there, who had masks for sale? Only China.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah, it's corrupt.
Only China.
It's corrupt. The other thing Biden has is he wants to restore the global Health Security Agency. Trump has not dismantled that. He only shrunk the staff. He streamlined it because it was too bloated with too many staff members. Now I'm going to quickly move to Biden wants to implement mask mandates nationwide. And I only ask there who's going to enforce it and what's going to be the penalty. What Trump does is he encouraged masks, but he notes that scientists said at first masks were protective, and then they said masks don't protect you. And there's still a lot of debate about that right now. So you have to make up your own mind about that.
Yeah, but if you see a picture of Joe Biden, he got the biggest mask that they ever made, wearing them every day, waving at groups of people that not even there.
Okay, now, and the other thing is, too, the Democrats, they're hypocrites about masks because you'll find most of them on video without masks in public, and then they criticize Trump masks when there are some people without masks, Trump rallies when there are some people without masks, but then they did nothing. They said nothing. They had crickets when it was BLM and Antifa out there protesting by the thousands with no mask, okay? So they're very hypocritical. Finally, Biden-Obama pandemic response. He's telling you what he would do, but here's what he actually did. They actually did have a pandemic, and it was called the swine flu, H1N1 in 2009, worst outbreak ever. They did not close any borders to Mexico, in which it was spreading heavily in Mexico. And over a year, 60 million people were infected, and they didn't produce enough vaccine to meet the demand. And one of Biden's aides even said that, let me quote him, he said they did everything wrong and that they were lucky it wasn't worse. So that was their response during the pandemic.
That's how our national stockpile of PPE got depleted under Obama and Biden. And they weren't savvy enough to replenish it, you know?
That's right.
So there you go.
Okay, there you go. That's the coronavirus report. Hope it was informative. Like we say, we love you. Make up your own mind. Make up your own mind about things. Be an independent thinker. Jesus love you. We love you.
Goodbye.
God bless. Bye-bye.